Hello, everybody, and welcome to a live episode of Next Drift. Captain JT Trolley, it is 8 p.m., August 27th, 2025, and tonight we are going to announce the waypoints, which you can see up on the screen here, for the first annual Next Drift Fluke Rally. And it is this coming Saturday, August 30th, and we are going to be meeting up and hopefully catching a ton of fish in Long Island Sound. Waypoint's right down here. You can see the meetup waypoint. So we'll be meeting there right around 7 a.m. And everybody will get on VHF channel 74 on your radio. And we'll go out and just kind of spread out and hopefully have a really good day of fishing. And we can share over the radio catches, baits and colors and techniques that are working, and hopefully you'll get to end up on an episode of Next Drift. We'll be right out there, and you can come by, say hello. We'll be driving around, checking on and seeing how everybody's doing throughout the day, and we'll just go out and hopefully share a day on the water together. It'll be kind of fun, something different and unique. So again, this coming Saturday, August 30th, in central Long Island Sound, 7 a.m. We're going to meet up at this waypoint on the screen. And tonight what I figured we would do is we'll check the weather forecast because we're going to have a little bit of wind tomorrow and Friday, and we're going to see how that's going to affect where we're going to be fishing. Wind doesn't look too bad for Saturday. And we will check the map. I'll show you some really cool spots that we're going to be fishing. Hopefully we get enough people where we can spread out and really dissect the area. There should be a lot of fish there. And we'll talk about some baits and techniques and colors, the time of the tide when we're going to start fishing that area. So feel free to post up a comment and hopefully, or a question, and I'll answer anything you may have. So again, you can see up on the screen here, this is on the Next Drift Patreon page. So make sure you go check that out. You do not have to be a paid member to participate. Just go on there. You can get on the Next Drift Patreon page for free. I would definitely highly recommend, maybe before fishing season ends, we still have 2 months left of, month and a half left of Fluke season. So we'll be posting up reports and waypoints and sharing a bunch of stuff with you. And also we have tog season coming up, and I'm hoping to keep the sea fever in until late November. So we'll have a bunch of tog spots up and some different reports from around Long Island Sound and out towards Montauk. So anyway, let's get into what we have going on for this coming Saturday's Next Drift Fluke Rally. Let's take first a look at the Wind Finder app. There's a lot of different wind apps that are out there. I highly recommend that if you're going to have one, make sure you get the paid version. It has much more detail and much better information. It's much more accurate than the free version for whichever one that you get. This year, for whatever reason, Windfinder has been the most consistent, and I have paid subscriptions to all of them, but Windfinder this year seems to be the best. So what have we got going on here? So let's see. Wednesday, you can see we've had kind of a west wind. That's not too bad. It's not blowing too hard. Thursday, we have a big wind shift. You can see it's going to be blowing directly from the south, and not bad. That's not usually a bad thing to see in the Sound. What we don't want to see is an east wind, and you end up with a lot of wind against tide situations, but luckily we are not going to have that. Let's check out Friday. Friday, you can see here, I got to check around. Different throughout the day. Out off Montauk is definitely not a place that you're going to want to be. That's 26 miles an hour, 22 to 26 miles an hour blowing out of the south. But Long Island Sound, again, has a little bit of wind. You can see it's going to be around like 15 to 17 miles an hour blowing out of the southwest. But Saturday, we're looking at a northwest wind, and it's not going to be too bad. So around 5 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have probably right around a 14-mile-an-hour wind, 10 to 14 miles an hour. It's not going to be too bad. And then later on, as the day continues, the wind will start to diminish, and we'll end up with some really nice conditions with wind blowing out of the west. So this is the regular forecast model on Windfinder. The super forecast shows a little bit different story. The super forecast is through the paid version, and you can see here that 9 a.m. Thursday, tomorrow, it is going to be glass calm out there. Zero wind. I mean, no wind at all. Really nice conditions. I wish it was like this for Saturday, but we're going to work with what we have. Friday, that wind's going to supposedly pop back up out of the south. It'll be blowing, and then it will start to calm down overnight. And I think we're going to end up with pretty nice conditions for Saturday. The super forecast does not allow you to see too far into the future because it wants to make sure that it gets its forecast model more accurate. But this doesn't look bad at all. If Friday night at 8 p.m., we have this nice, calm, massive air that's sitting out here that's going to creep its way this way. And I think we're going to end up with some really nice conditions for Saturday. Let's take a quick look over here. I'll switch back to the regular forecast model, and we can see the wave heights. So let's go over here. Saturday, August 30th, the day of our Fluke rally. You can see here the regular forecast model is predicting a 10-mile-an-hour wind, max gust 14, then it starts to taper off, and that'll be nice. We have high tide at 4:31 a.m. So high tide, so we're going to be fishing the outgoing tide, which is going to work out just great in our favor, and we'll be fishing that outgoing all the way to the low tide at 10:26. And then we'll have the incoming tide, which will be great. So we'll have that little peak in the morning of the fast-moving tide. We'll talk about that, of where we're going to be fishing, how we're going to be fishing, what types of lures and weights we're going to be using during that time. And then we'll have a nice catch the end of the outgoing, and then we'll have a little bit of slack time, and then we'll be fishing the incoming, and we'll catch that top of the incoming tide. It's going to be great. It's like almost perfect. Really nice time of the day, too, that all of this is going to be happening. So let's get into the map itself. Switch over here. And this is what we're looking at. I know it might look a little crappy on the screen, but hopefully once we get to the published version, it will look a little bit better. Let me switch over to the comments. See, Greg Z, what's up, buddy? Glad you're going to be there. Vic, awesome. Glad you're coming. I don't know if Halkias is going to be coming or not. I think he has a charter that day. So if he can make it out there, I'm sure he'll be there. So can I come with you in your boat? I would love for you to come, but I have a full boat, and I hope you can find a ride. So let's take a look at this map real quick. All right, so that waypoint is going to take you, when we meet up, right here at the end, right at the tip of 6 Mile Reef, and is right out here in central Long Island Sound. And this is a great area, especially this time of year when, we have a lot of different contour that's out here. You can see these great big long points that stick out, a lot of deep water that's off the end of these things. And during the outgoing tide, which we're going to have, you'll have a lot of fluke that stack up along these ends of these points and these little trough areas that are out in here. So this is the 6 Mile Reef half of where we're going to be fishing. The other side of this is called 28-foot shoal. And this is another great area because we have another great big underwater point that comes out over here, and tons of great fluke water. And we got some deeper water that comes out, some flat setter up here. And so we're going to be fishing, at least in my mind, I'm going to stay anywhere from 75 to, say, 110 feet. Somewhere in there, we're going to find Fluke. And I'm probably going to start my drift, well, I don't know, probably out in here somewhere. We'll kind of see where everybody ends up. And I'll start kind of dingling out here. I'll do a couple drives. You'll see me driving around looking for bait on the screen. And then wherever I just kind of get a good sense of where there's some bait and some life, we'll probably start setting up our first drifts. So this is the area. Now, with the outgoing tide, and we're going to kind of be getting out there right when it starts to rip, we're going to need some heavier weight. You're going to probably be, if you're using a bucktail rig, you're going to want to be a 5 or a 6 ounce. The tides are pretty strong out here. I would highly recommend that if you don't like fishing that heavy of a weight or heavy of a bucktail, definitely want to try a chicken rig. And that's just, 2 dropper loops with a teaser or just a straight gulp on each one of the droppers and a cannonball sinker. And that's actually really effective for when the tide's a little bit stronger. And you can also try a Fluke spoon or what we call like a live bait type rig, like a Charles Nappy type rig, standard, for your Fluke setup rig for bait. Those are going to be very effective. So you have a lot of different options for fishing that faster part of the tide here. And you will notice if you have never fished here before that the tide at the peak, it can be ripping. You can see like a 2.5 to 3 mile an hour drift speed. So that's when we're going to want to use the heavier weights and the rigs. So let me just double check over here real quick, see if we have any more questions. Did you go fishing after the storm? I went Sunday. I did not. I had some work stuff going on, super busy. I ended up not being able to make it out there, but I was hoping I'd be able to get out either tomorrow or Friday, but we're just slamming right now at work, so I wasn't able to get out. But what's up, Nino? So Nino Versus on here. Congratulations, buddy. You guys, they won a lot of money. I think they won $60,000 at the Flounder Pounder tournament. Was it last week or the week before? So congratulations to those guys. Awesome fluke fishermen. Some of the best. So good stuff. Let's get over here back to the map. So yeah, like I said, everybody's free to fish wherever you want to fish. Obviously, we'll be staying in touch on the radio. Hopefully, sharing where we're fishing, the results that we have. Everybody can share, colors, weights, all that good stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much the spot that we're going to be. We're going to focus right out in here on the end of this point, at the end of western end of 6 Mile, the western end of 28-foot shoal, and then up along this ridge that is out in the middle over here. Awesome spots. I caught about 5 years ago. I got a 14-pounder right out in here, off the edge of this nice drop off. So there's a lot of big fish out here. And you can end up getting a lot of numbers. If the bait's there, there's going to be a ton of fish. And this is one of the best areas that I used to fish a lot, and I just don't anymore because got so many other places. But I'm looking forward to getting out here and for old time's sake, and hopefully put a whooping on the fluke. So that is. Let me pull up here real quick. I want to show you one more map that I think might really help everybody. Let me just pull it up here. This is kind of cool. I talked about it a little bit in the last episode of Next Drift. Let me switch over here and get it over to our spot that we're going to be fishing. This is a free map online as well. It's not as detailed, but this is on iBoat.com. You can just type it into Google, and let's see, where are we here? It's Kanka River. Here we go. 28-foot shoal. What's really cool about this map, it's not like super, super accurate, but at least it gives you something to look at. it shows you what the bottom composition is. So like out here, you can see 28-foot shoal. Okay, up on top of it, it's about 28 feet, which makes sense. And out here, there's sand, mud, shells, sand and shells, sand, shells, pebbles. So right out here in about 108 feet. I don't know how they got this information, but they seem pretty confident about it. It's just something else to check out. You can kind of mess around down here and maybe kind of see where you might want to start the day once we get out there. So let me switch back over to the live stream just so we can see what Monsterfish CT says. See you guys out there. We'll see you. Let's see. We got next time I book a trip with you. Let me know how many people I can bring and how much. Unfortunately, I don't do charters anymore. Got out of that a few years ago. Loved doing it, but it just got. I just don't have the time and the commitment. So maybe someday I'll start chartering again. Here's a great question. Thoughts on using a drift sock that day with the wind and tide forecast? Yeah, I would definitely bring one. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. If you get the right wind and the right tide, you might be able to really utilize the drift sock. Definitely something you should bring along. So the drift's going to be honking. Yep, it very well could be. We're going to get that little window, maybe 45 minutes or so of that really nice drift speed of that like 0.7, 0.8 miles an hour. And then it's going to start picking up. But that's those two windows that we're going to have should be pretty good. I have a couple buddies that were out here, and I told them where I had planned on having the event, and they went out and they caught some nice fish here. So good reports. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, so that's the spot. I hope everybody gets over to the Next Drift Patreon page, and you can feel free to comment. Like I said, August 30th, Long Island Sound, 7 a.m. meetup time. Will be on channel 74. My dog's having a meltdown out there. We'll be on channel 74. I'll probably get out there a little bit earlier, maybe around 6:15ish or so, 6:30. And then here's the waypoint. That's where we'll be meeting. So I hope to see a lot of you out there. Let me just check and see if you have any more comments or questions. What's going on, Peter? How are you, buddy? This is pretty cool, actually. I like that. I think everybody can see all of the comments live, which is a much nicer feature than me having to click on the share button. So, so that's really it. We'll see, if something drastic happens where the wind is just turns for the worse, I'll make sure I post it up on the Next Drift Patreon page and also on Facebook and YouTube in case we have to postpone it. I don't foresee that happening, though. But obviously, we always want to play it safe. You never know with the wind. So, all right. Let's see here. We got a couple more comments. It says, Capt says, sick idea. I'm on my way out west, but have fun. Thank you, buddy. Hope to see you really soon. And, hey, you never know. Like I said, it's, hey, excuse me one second. Bronco, get in the house. Get in the house. It's always barking. But yeah, if we make this an annual thing, I think it'll be fun. It gives everybody a chance to get on YouTube. Obviously, it gives me a chance to meet everybody who's watching and subscribing. And we'll have some cool prizes to give away. And we'll see who catches the biggest fluke of the day. So that'll be pretty cool. Let's see. Andrew says, sounds like a lot of fun. Committed to striper fishing. Okay, good for you. Stripers. Nice. Hopefully that bite is picking up because I know that it's been pretty slow. But let me know how you do, Andrew. That's great. All right. If we don't have any more questions or comments, we'll wrap it up. But I really appreciate everybody watching, and I hope to see you out there on Saturday. We'll talk to you real soon. Take care, everybody.